I think that's quite important. And he said to me, no, I like to listen, so we're going to talk about it.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure some others will flow in. Welcome to Open Doors Community Church, community living the radically inclusive love of Jesus Christ. This week is our second week of a series called Atheism for Lift. Last week we watched the video on sex trafficking in Nepal and India. If you want to donate and have not yet, you can contact Matt and he will tell you how to donate. And we have an anonymous offer. Any donations up to 150,000 won will be matched, one per one.
So like now we have 228, so that can be matched? Or?
No, that will not be matched. Any new donations. And we'll be sending that in probably Tuesday to Sapat India, the organization that we donated to. All right, before we begin, there's a few announcements. First, Open Door Seminary will begin March 4th, which is a Monday. You can register for this on the Facebook group. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, just type Open Doors Community. You'll see the rainbow flag. Join that group if you can join the seminary you want to. It's a free seminary, and we'll be doing one course per term per semester, about 16 weeks long for each course. Second announcement, Rubato concert. Rubato is Jun Young's orchestra group at his university, Chunwon University, and he's a violin player in the orchestra. That concert will be March 9th, Saturday, 7 p.m. at Chunwon University Arts Center. It's line 9.
Yes.
Station. If you need further directions or if you want a ticket, let us know. Me or him. We'll try to get you the tickets. Do we know they're free yet?
It's free admission. Yeah, it's free admission, and I'm going to post maps, how to get there, how to walk even to the art center. So be posted on. Look at Facebook. Yes.
And if you come, bring a bouquet of flowers to Carol. Third announcement, start saving for Amplify 2013. This is the All Asian LGBT Conference in Hong Kong. That'll be June 7th to 9th. CJ and June found some good prices if you want to buy your plane tickets now. June found some good prices. I think it was 330-something thousand round trip on one of the budget airlines. He can tell you more about that.
Yes.
Oh, yes, definitely.
What?
He was asking about seatbelts.
No, standing room only. It's only 4 hours, right? 4 hours.
2 engines.
Propeller, it's a propeller.
오늘 처음 오신 여러분 모두 환영하고요. 예, 저희 ODCC가 이런 곳입니다. 저희가 바에서 예배를 드리고 있고, 저 몇 가지 그냥 말씀드릴 게 있다면, 저희 오늘 마찬가지로 항상 저희 예배 유인물 있고요. 유인물 못 받아가신 분은 보드카병 쫙 진열되어 있는데 저기에 유인물 있습니다. 그래서 한 번씩 가져가시고, 혹시나 여러분 주위에 한국분이 앉아 계시면 좀 안내해 주세요. 저쪽에 유인물 있으니까 받아가라고 이렇게 얘기 좀 해주시고요. 그 옆에 헌금함이 있습니다. 그래서 저희 헌금은 따로 헌금 받는 시간은 없고요. 원하시는 대로 헌금 하시면 되겠고요. 한 가지 더 말씀드릴 게 있다면 저희 교회 도서관이 작게 이렇게 비치되어 있어요. 그래서 책을 다 저희 읽는 책을 다 진열했습니다. 혹시 관심 있으신 책 있으시다면 빌려가시고, 빌려가는 절차는 복잡하진 않고요. 노트북에다가 공책에다가 이름 적으시고 책명 적으시고 그냥 빌려가시고 편하신 대로 갖고 오시면 되겠습니다. 그래서 그렇게 저희가 도서관을 운영을 하고 있습니다. 몇 가지 광고를 할게요. 여러분 갖고 계신 유인물 첫 장에 다 적혀 있긴 합니다. 근데 좀 부연 설명을 해드리자면, 저희 교회 ODCC에 이제 신학 수업을 제가 진행을 하려고 해요. 그래서 16주 정도로 지금 진행이 될 거고요. 한 남자밖에 없습니다. 자세한 사항은 페이스북에 들어오셔서 확인하시면 되겠고요. 페이스북을 저희 교회 페이스북 못 찾으신 분들이 많이 계시더라고요. 그래서 말 그대로 Open Doors Community Church를 치시면은, 검색창에 치시면요, 페이스북 검색창에, 그러면은 무지개 깃발 돼 있는 로고가 있을 거예요. 거기에 들어오셔서 그룹 회원 신청을 하시면은 저 임원진 중에 한 분이 이제 바로 신청을 수락을 할 겁니다. 그렇게 하셔서 저희 교회 대부분의 광고 및 대화를 다 페이스북에 오가고 있기 때문에 페이스북을 하셔야 저희 교회가 어떻게 돌아가는지 좀 아실 것 같습니다. 그래서 그거 말씀드리고요. 예, 저 개인 광고입니다. 예, 제가 이번에 중앙대학교 저희 아마추어 오케스트라 동아리에 제가 있는데요. 3월 9일날 저녁 7시에 저희가 콘서트를 엽니다. 제가 현재 알기로 입장권은 무료고요. 저희 교회 모든 사람들 다 데리려고 제가 지금 작정을 하고 있습니다. 그래서 시간 되시는 분은 거의 저희 그 중앙대학교로 오시면 너무 감사드리고요. 이번에 연주하는 곡은 베토벤 교향곡 5번 운명이랑요. 그 다음에 블루 바이올린 연주곡 1번, 그 다음에 서곡을 하나 할 건데요. 마타네사소 서곡을 제가 연주를 할 겁니다. For those who haven't heard the repertoire, we're gonna play Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, Fate, and Bruch's violin concerto, and an overture by Weber, Max Weber. And so, 그 저희 중앙대학교는 9호선 흑성역 근처에 있으니까 지하철을 타고 오실 분은 그렇게 오시면 되겠고요. 자세한 약도 및 어떻게 하면 아트센터까지 걸어가실 수 있는지에 대한 거는 제가 페이스북에다가 자세히 그림까지 첨부해가지고 올려드릴 테니 관심 있으신 분은 저한테 개인적으로 연락 주시면 감사하겠습니다. 그리고 마지막 광고는요. 6월 7, 8, 9, 2박 3일 동안 홍콩에서 컨퍼런스가 있을 겁니다. 이번에 Amplify 컨퍼런스라고 되어 있는데요. 좀 간략하게 말씀을 드리자면은 아시아에 있는 LGBT 공동체에 굉장히 좀 열려있는, 오픈되어 있는 그런 교회들끼리 모여있는 그런 컨퍼런스예요. 그래서 말레이시아, 인도네시아, 싱가포르, 대만, 중국, 일본, 한국, 미국 그렇게 작년에 그렇게 모였어요. 그래서 한국은 저희 교회가 대표해서 말 그대로 대표해서 다녀갔고요. 이번에 이렇게 2박 3일 동안 홍콩에서 열려 있으니까 혹시 관심 있으신 분은 본인이 LGBT 공동체의 일원이 아니어도 상관은 없습니다. 거기에 한 500명 정도가 한 자리에 모여가지고 같이 예배를 드리는데 대다수가 LGBT 공동체 일원이지만 또 개중에는 LGBT에 굉장히 옹호적이고 LGBT를 수용할 줄 아는 분들이 또 오셔서 같이 예배를 드리기도 합니다. 그래서 좀 그런 귀한 자리를 같이 이렇게 갔으면 좋겠어요. 저는 작년에 가고 깜짝 놀랐거든요. 이렇게 500명이 한 자리에 모여가지고 같이 하나님 다양한 언어로 하나님을 찬양하고 하나님께 예배를 드리는 모습이 너무 인상적이었고 거기서 몇 번 눈물을 흘렸는지 모르겠습니다. 너무 감동적이어서 그 감동을 같이 나누고 싶고요. 그래서 비행기표를 개별적으로 구입하셔야 되기 때문에 좀 돈을 모으셨으면 감사하겠습니다. 저희 교회 형제 중에 한 분이 제주항공 비행사 표를 이용해가지고 검색을 해보니 한 30만 원대 정도, 맞죠? 30만 원대 정도로 왕복 비행기표가 지금 온라인상에 지금 올라와 있거든요. 그래서 그 정도로 생각하시면 되겠고, 만약 그 정도 가격대로 가시려면 좀 빨리 신청하셔야 돼요. 그래서 좀 미리 신청하셔서 정말 귀한 시간 같이 함께 했으면 좋겠습니다. 그래서 그거를 좀 생각하시고, 여름 일정을 잡으셨으면 좋겠습니다. 예.
Any other announcements?
Yes. Actually, the 7th is a Friday. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 예. 미리 말씀을 드리면 6월 7, 8, 9가 금토일입니다. 예. 그래서 그렇게 돼 있고요. 6월 6일날 현충일 다음날 이렇게.
No, we'd be leaving in the morning, so it'd be a day.
June 6th is Memorial Day.
Yes, June 6th is the Memorial Day. That's a national holiday. Yes.
Some of us might be leaving.
예, 그 전날이 현충일이다 보니까 아마 제가 다 같이 움직일 거면 아마 현충일 날부터 떠나서 여유 있게 일정을 잡을 수 있지 않겠습니까?
Maybe it's important if it doesn't rain this Sunday. We'd be able to be back.
We'd be back
for work on Monday.
We'd be leaving around lunch.
Yes. 작년에도 그랬거든요. 작년에도 마지막 예배가 일요일 날 한 점심때쯤에 끝났어요. 그래서 저희가 점심을 좀 공항에서 먹고 그렇게 바로 출발해가지고 저녁 한 6시, 7시쯤에 제가 도착을 했거든요. 물론 이제 좀 인천 공항에서 멀리 사시는 분들 같은 경우는 좀 더 걸리겠지만 아무튼 월요일 날 다시 직장 가시는 데는 무리가 없을 겁니다. 그래서 그거를 미리 말씀을 드려요.
Today at 3:30 we got a prayer for the few of us who we're going to do the same thing. So at 3:30 if you're interested, since this series for 4 weeks is not going to include God, if you want some God, come at 3:30 and we'll spend some time in prayer.
오늘부터 저희가 교회 기도 모임을 좀 시작을 했거든요. 3시 30분에 시작해서 저희가 1시간 조금 넘게 저희가 기도 시간을 가졌어요. 근데 저희 유인물로 보시다시피 이번부터 시작해서 한 4주 정도는 무신론에 관련해서 저희가 설교를 할 거기 때문에 하나님 언급을 안 할 거고 오늘 예배 때 드리는 찬양도 그냥 일반 대중 팝송을 중심으로 해서 그렇게 저희가 노래를 부를 겁니다. 일부러 그렇게 계획을 하고 있거든요. 자세한 사항은 설교 때 유입을 보시면 왜 이런 취지를 하고 있는지 아마 이해를 하실 겁니다. 그러나 혹시나 교회에서 하나님께 기도라는 시간을 가졌으면 좋겠는데 하시는 분들 있으시면은 5시에 오지 마시고 3시 반에 오셔서 같이 기도 시간을 함께 하면 좋을 것 같습니다. 그거 하는 거 같고요.
Today is Melissa's last day. So she wants to say something.
My last meeting is on Saturday, and I just wanted to tell everyone how much this church has meant to me. I came to Korea and I didn't really fit in with my group, and I wanted to find a group that I fit in with, and I found this church. I'm so grateful for Daniel and for everyone who has welcomed me and just made me feel at home. And you brought a lot of joy to my life. So thank you so much, everyone. And keep on doing what you're doing. You're doing really well.
Anything else?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, can you find a candle real quick?
I got an idea. While we wait, why don't we bring Melissa up too?
That's a good idea. Do you mind? You're going to be encircled by people who love you, which are great. It's great for you.
I think that would be awesome, actually.
Anyone who wants to come
My cold.
We light this candle as a symbol of seeking the light and an acknowledgement that light cannot be overcome by darkness. We draw together here today to affirm and strengthen ourselves for our lives ahead, to be at one and quiet, to make new connections and reconnections, to prepare for enriching ourselves and others around us, to become a resource for the world, and to speak the name of love and freedom and community. Please join me in singing together. Join with me together in the meditation, reading the yellow books. We are not as clean-hearted as we would like. We are not as good at living as we would like. We don't always treat our friends, our neighbors, or our environment as we know we ought. We often don't understand what is happening to us and around us. We're small in the universe. We're lonely and incomplete. We want to do better. We need help from outside ourselves to be better people. We come here because in community and in quiet, we hope to find that help. We each come here to gather ourselves, to center ourselves, and to offer ourselves to a bigger experience. In the quiet, we call to mind that there have been things we have not done well, things we have avoided doing, things we have forgotten to do, and times when we have done better. We seek help and open ourselves up to receive it, so that in the future we can do much better than we have done in the past. Let's just take a moment of silence to reflect.
Tell me how did you stand there with your broken heart, ashamed of playing the fool? One thing can lead to another. It doesn't take any sacrifice. Oh, father and mother, sister and brother, if it feels nice, don't think twice. Shall we people, you
I tried not to use the word prayer, so we're going to have an intercession. We come here as a body of people to remember together that other people need our help and our love. We come here to focus our attention on the needs of others. We remember those without the basic human needs of water, food, shelter, warmth, good health, companionship, a sense of self-worth, a place in society. We remember especially today, if you want to speak inside yourself or out loud, you can take a minute to say it. Joseph. In the name of love. We remember those suffering physically or mentally, those imprisoned in some way or oppressed, those threatened by violence or war, for those waiting behind for loved ones in danger. We remember especially today the people of Syria. Those living in countries where it's a capital crime to be gay or lesbian. In the name of love. We remember those whose relationships are dysfunctional, crumbling, or otherwise ending. We hold in mind those who are angry. We remember the bereaved. We remember especially today Kempton losses.
Every brother and sister who shed tears for us. Lost sheep.
We ask for help for them, for comfort, for relief, for mending, as we ask for mending also for ourselves. In the name of love. And we call to mind people who are using their lives to making things happen for others. For leaders, for healthcare workers, teachers, shapers of the world, for carers and those who devote time and energy to the concerns of others. We ask to be shown what we can do to help others and for the strength and the will to do it in the name of love. We also come here as a body to support each other in peace and welcome. Though we humans are many, we are one body, for we are all composed mainly of water. We're all nourished by the same bread. The same oxygen supports us all, and we are raised from the stardust that is the earth's crust. So we say together, let people worship with their eyes and ears and fingertips. Let people learn to love the world with their heart, mind, and body. Let people worship with the opening of all the windows of their being, with the full outstretching of their spirits. Let people learn to worship, and let people learn to love. In a spirit of openness and togetherness, let us give each other outward signs of the deep interior peace that is the mysterious gift of love. Peace be with you.
보셨어요? 일로 와, 일로 와. Peace be with you. Peace be with you.
Here? Running on Korean time? What place?
Peace be with you, yes.
Sorry.
Peace be with you.
Everybody.
Yeah, I was there.
What kind of one do you have?
While I was there, I did 일본에서 다녔다. 한 3일 됐어요.
Life is a journey, not a destination. There are no mistakes, chances we take and lay down your regrets. 'Cause all we have is now. Wake up in the morning and get out of bed. Start making plans for this in my head. All of the things that I am grateful for. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. I open up my eyes and open up my mind and I wonder how life will surprise me today. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New hopes, new dreams, new ways. I open up my heart and I'm gonna do my part and make this a positively beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Life is a challenge, not a competition. You can still smell the roses and be on mission. Just take a moment to get in touch with your heart. Sometimes you feel like you got something to prove. Remind yourself that there's only one you. Just take a moment and give thanks for who you are. Early in the morning, it's the dawn of a new day. New 'cause all we have is now.
Now John is going to do this song forever along.
Hi, everybody. I want to invite you guys. So, like the last time I taught y'all a song, I taught y'all like the National Baptist, I guess, last time. I'm gonna teach y'all a different clap this time. So I'm gonna invite all of you to stay underneath. This song, the rhythm of it is different, so the clap is different, right? This time you're gonna stomp once and then clap twice. Right? So, that was hard. Like for me, I can't do it and sing at the same time. So we're gonna start, but then when I mess up, I'm just gonna stop clapping. So feel free to do the thing.
We must sing this song. We must sing this song at the same time.
Well, no, you don't have to. You need to stop and stick. Do you. Praise the Lord. So yeah, I think a lot of people probably know this song, and you know, kind of one, I guess, fitting thing about it is that for most of the song actually it doesn't really mention the name of God or but still sort of is there still go ahead and clap over and I'll reach out the right.
And you and I, we are free to wonder why it should lead us all the way wrong. When there are others living among us, never molested, going the wrong. Same. Farther along, we'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brother, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by. Often when death has taken our loved ones, leaving our home so lone and so drear, then do we wonder why others prosper, living so wicked year after year. Farther along, we'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brothers, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by. Farther along, we'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. Cheer up, my brothers and sisters, live in the sunshine. We'll understand it all by and by. Amen.
Song I grew up singing, and we do it farther along, we'll know all about it. Farther along, we'll understand why. Then you gotta do a little drag. Cheer up, my brother. Alright. So tonight's sermon, if you can call it that, Atheism for Lent theme number 2. We're going to be talking about something that Christopher Hitchens talks about in his book, God Is Not Great. This is in the library, so if you want to check it out and see more about what he has to say, then you can do that after the service too. So as I explained last week, each sermon in the next 4-week series will be divided into 3 parts. So in the first part, I will present a strong, in my opinion, strong atheistic argument against religion in general, or against Christianity in particular. And during this part of the sermon, I'll only present the argument as it is given by the atheist critic, without my own views. In the second part of the sermon, I'll briefly explain what I have learned from that argument, or how the argument has transformed my faith and understanding of God. Finally, in the third part, I'll briefly explain why I think the argument fails in one way or another. So the purpose of this series is not to undermine your faith. I'm going to say that again. The purpose of this series is not to undermine your faith. I would never want to do such a thing. It is to practice the nearly lost art of listening to those with whom we may disagree, with a critical mind and being open to transformation. The truth, if that is what we are after, has nothing to fear from opposing viewpoints. Our faith, if it is to become stronger, must encounter those with other beliefs. It is not my purpose to turn you into an atheist, or if you are an atheist, to turn you into a Christian. That's up to you. All we will do here for the next 4 weeks is listen critically and generously, and perhaps be transformed by the simple act of listening and digesting what we hear. So before we even begin the first part, my question is, what are your fears, what are your questions, or what are your concerns going into this series?
That's something unrelated. I see some people maybe for handouts on any Korean handouts.
The Korean handouts are on the back.
예, 제가 한 번 더 광고할게요. 저희 오늘도 마찬가지로 저희 다니엘 목사님이 설교문을 지금 읽으실 거거든요. 그러다 보니까 혹시 따라가시는데 불편하신 분이 있으시겠어요? 예, 그러다 보니까 유인물을 준비했습니다. 저기 뒤에 있어요. 그래서 유인물 한 장씩 가져가시고 지금 현재 3쪽 첫 번째 박스 질문 나와 있는 부분 거기 준비되고 있습니다.
Alright, so anybody, popcorn style, what are your fears, questions, concerns going into this series?
I guess there's always a fear of the unknown. I was raised in the church on 5, so I never talked about not believing or always believing.
The fear of saying you're fearful.
Never.
So we'll begin our series with the atheist writer and thinker Christopher Hitchens. He's now sadly deceased. He died a couple years ago from cancer. But he was one of the great atheist popularizers of the 20th and early 21st century. He's a member of what's popularly called the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. There are 4 popular atheists nowadays. Christopher Hitchens is one of them. Richard Dawkins, you might have heard of Richard Dawkins. Sam Harris and Daniel Dennett, known as the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. So Christopher was one of them when he was alive. Christopher Hitchens begins chapter 2 of this book, God is Not Great, with a quote by the ancient Roman poet philosopher Lucretius, and you can see the quote here on the screen. To such heights of evil are men driven by religion. Now, the grammatical structure of this sentence is weird because it's so old, but basically, I think you understand what it means. A simpler way to say this would be religion often, if not always, in Christopher Hitchens' mind, causes good people to do bad things. So we'll begin our series with this thinker, Christopher Hitchens. The quote here encapsulates what I think to be Hitchens' central and most forceful argument against Christianity in particular, and against all religious impulse on the whole. That religion throughout history has turned good people into bad people. Hitchens worded this as a question in many of his debates with Christian theologians, and we'll now watch him pose the question in his own words.
I have a moral challenge on this point. Answer me this if you think the morality comes from the supernatural, and we require celestial protection, permission for it. Name me a moral action committed by a believer, or a moral statement or ethical statement uttered by one, that could not be made or uttered by an unbeliever. I've asked this in a number of venues and forums now. I'm going to keep on asking it. I've not yet had an answer. If I was to ask anyone in this room, however, could they name a wicked action performed or a vile statement made by someone attributable only to their religious faith? There isn't a single person here who'd have to hesitate for a second.
Yeah, it's going to be a shock. But to reiterate Hitchens' argument, if you couldn't understand what he was saying, can you think of any moral action that an unbeliever could not perform, that a believer could perform? Or otherwise, can you imagine any immoral action that a believer could perform strictly because of his or her faith? His point, of course, is that morality is not dependent on religious faith, Christian or otherwise, and that an atheist can be, and usually is, in my experience anyway, just as moral as any believer, perhaps even more moral than most believers are. So, my next question is, what do you think of Hitchens' moral region? Do you need me to restate it one more time? Does everybody understand what he's saying? What do you think of that argument?
But religion isn't about morality. Religion is about faith. So even if it's true, so what?
CJ 코멘트는요, 방금 아까 크리스토퍼 히친스의 말을 듣고 동의를 한다고 얘기를 했지만, 종교라는 것은 도덕하고 무관되기 때문에 전적으로 동의하지 않다라고 하는 말씀을 하신 거고요. 신앙이라는 것은, 그러니까 종교라는 것은 믿음하고 관련이 되어 있고, 도덕하고는 조금 좀 거리가 좀 멀리 있지 않나라고 하는 것을 들었습니다.
But would an atheist perform a baptism? Because a believer is kind of about sleeping on.
It depends on whether you think baptism is a good or bad thing.
Yeah. I guess an atheist would perform a baptism.
So, like certain religious Christians, like baptism, we consider good. It's something that a religious person can do.
메시 얘기했던 한 가지 이해가 세례식 얘기를 했는데요. 세례식이라는 건 교회에서 진행되는 것이고 종교와 관련된 것이잖아요. 근데 하나님을 믿지 않는 무신론자가 세례식을 거행할 수는 없는 거죠. 그것과 같이 분명 무신론자가 할 수 없는 일은 분명 있긴 있을 겁니다. 종교랑 관련된 행위 중에.
I think kind of along the same line, the assumption that prayer is one application to the two. It's generally a moral action. Then that's one thing that I say, like, it's not a non-believer can't have. So that's the one thing that I was thinking. Second, like, I think in kind of in the line of what CJ was meant to say, you know, I think one of his assumptions is that religion should be inspiring actions as a function of actions. And maybe it is, but maybe, you know, maybe the opposite is true. I don't know who it said, probably whatever it said, religion is opium. So, like, maybe many of us misunderstand the purpose of it. Like, it has less to do with what's coming out of it, or actions inspiring, than just making able to do it. You know, maybe he's arguing something along the side. And that makes sense, because probably standard. Maybe it really should just find a way for us to
제가 좀 약간 저의 말로 제가 풀어서 설명해드릴게요. 제가 아까 중간에 약간 놓쳤어요. 근데 그러니까 아까 메시 얘기했던 거랑 지지를 하는 입장에서 얘기를 했는데 종교가 특정 행위를 결정지을 수 없다라고 하는 얘기를 아까 방금 했고 더군다나 I knew that this was going to be a hard topic to translate. I got it really right every year. Your second point.
So, you know, he says that his argument is that religion is about inspired by action. Right. Well, maybe that's just the wrong word. Maybe that's not.
Thinking, right.
Religion is inspired action. Exactly. Right. He said that the purpose of religion is act out question.
두 번째로 방금 언급했던 부분은요, 크리스토퍼 히친스의 말을 조금 보자면은 약간 비관적인 방법으로 지금 바라보고 있어요. 종교라는 것은 악한 행동을 하게끔 만든다라고 거의 결론을 이렇게 짓고 있거든요. 그 사람의 주장을 보면. 근데 그거는 물컵 반잔을 놓고 반절이 채워져 있다, 반절이 비어 있다라고 보는 거랑 마찬가지라고 얘기를 하면서 꼭 그렇게 볼 게 아니라 종교라는 것이 오히려 좀 좋은 행동을 유발할 수 있는 걸로 볼 수 있지 않는가라고 역으로 바라볼 수 있는데도 불구하고 꼭 약간 비관적인 방법으로 바라보고 있다라고 하는 말로 지금 표현을 했습니다. 예, 좀 받아 적을게요. 제가 오늘부터 시작해갖고 굉장히 논란거리가 있을 뿐만 아니라 굉장히 좀 어려운 좀 형이상학적인 대화가 오고 갈 거라는 걸 알고 있기 때문에 제가 좀 정신 차리고 제가 좀 드릴게요. 예.
The thing you'll find is, especially with Hitchens and Dawkins, in my view, they are just as fundamentalists from atheism as the fundamentalism that they're arguing against. And they're only arguing against the Christian fundamentalism, not Christian faith as most of us understand.
여기서 한 가지 주목을 하고자 하는 건 뭐냐면요. 크리스토퍼 히친스라고 하는 이 무신론자가 자기의 주장을 펼 때 굉장히 근본주의적인 입장에서 자기 주장을 펴고 있어요. 그러다 보니까 비평을 하고 있는 게 기독교 중에서도 굉장히 보수적이고 근본주의적인 기독교에 비판을 하고 있는 걸로 이렇게 들리거든요. 여기 계신 분들 중에 진보적인 기독교 가치관을 갖고 계신 분이 있으시다면 히친스의 말을 듣고 저거 말이 안 되는데 라고 생각하실 수 있을지 모르겠어요. 근데 아무튼 말씀드리고 싶은 건 뭐냐면은 크리스토퍼 히친스가 굉장히 근본주의적인 방법으로 근본주의적인 기독교를 비판하고 있다. 그거를 그냥 한 가지 상식으로 생각하시고 이 얘기를 들으시면 될 것 같습니다. 예.
My interpretation of this maybe is off, but I think that he's sort of saying that both a non-believer and a believer are capable of behaving in a way that is better for society. And I think that a lot of atheists view morality from a perspective of, we don't do this because we're afraid of divinity or we want to please divinity, but because we want to maintain a peace society. And so he's saying that both are capable of doing these things, but a believer is capable of great evil because of their belief system. Is that correct?
That's exactly what it's saying.
Okay. So in that case, I think that a non-believer is also capable of great evil out of selfishness. But I can't necessarily guess, because then if you're, there is a capability of being a kind of self-centeredness. But if you look at morality as being focused on what is beneficial for society, I can't necessarily question the way. I can't consult.
He sets it up in a way that's very different.
Yes, but I kind of agree with John in that it's kind of like you're not necessarily only believing what you believe in to be better for society. So, yeah.
A의 포인트를 정리를 해드릴게요. 무신론자나 유신론자나, 그러니까 믿는 사람, 유신론자란 말이 되게 애매한데 제가 그냥 제가 역자로 제가 해서 주석을 달긴 했지만 결국에는 신이 있다고 믿는 사람은 유신론자라고 오늘 그렇게 정의를 새롭게 할게요. 신이 있다고 믿는 사람, 무신론자와 유신론자 모두 다 좋은 사회를 이룩하기 위해서 다 기여를 할 수는 있어요. 그러니까 그거는 분명 맞는 것 같아요. 근데 왜냐면 무신론자들이 주장하는 건 이거거든요. 본인들은 신을 안 믿잖아요. 그러다 보니까 신 없이도 우리는 좋은 사회를 만들 수 있다. 우리는 좋은 일을 할 수 있다. 이게 바로 무신론자들의 주장이고 그러다 보니까 무신론을 계속해서 다른 사람들에게 얘기를 하면서 그 사람들을 이렇게 어떻게 보면은 이게 자기의 편으로 만들려고 하고 있는 게 바로 그것 때문이에요. 자기도 좋은 일을 할 수 있다라고 하는 그 주장을 펴면서. 근데 이거를 약간 뒤집어서 생각을 해보면요. 무신론자들도 얼마든지 부도덕한 행위를 할 수가 있어요. 악한 일을 할 수 있다는 거를 한 번쯤 생각해 볼 수 있는데 크리스토퍼 히친스의 이 말만 딱 듣고는 이 사람이 역을 어떻게 비판을 하지? 약간 좀 멍 때리는 부분이 좀 없지 않아 있어요. 약간 멘붕이 와요. 그래서 이거를 그러니까 이 말만 딱 듣고는 좀 비판하기는 어렵지만 중요한 거는 이 사람의 말도 일리는 있는데 다만 무신론자들 또한 악한 행동을 할 수 있다라고 하는 거는 우리가 전제 조건으로 깔아야 되지 않을까라고 하는 게 바로 AB의 포인트였어요.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the question itself has a huge logical fallacy from the very beginning. The question is flawed. The question assumes all religions are the same. And the question is, it would be the same thing as saying, oh, if any country anywhere has a dictator, that means every country is like North Korea. That's the kind of mistake in logic he's making from the very beginning. Are there some religions that have immoral things as part of their faith? Yes. Does that mean all religions have that? No. And that's a huge difference. And the question itself is worded in a way to not allow that difference. And I actually think that the question is deliberately deceiving.
It is. It's a rhetorical device.
리기의 주장을 제가 정리를 할게요. 이 방금 크리스토프 히친스가 우리에게 던져주고 있는 이 질문은 좀 논리적으로 비약이다라고 하는 얘기를 했거든요. 이거는 마치 모든 종교가 다 똑같다라고 정의 내리는 것과 같다고 하는 얘기를 했어요. 이거를 하나의 비유로 들자면 예를 들어서 독재자가 정치를 하고 있는 독재자에 의해서 군주 정치가 이루어지고 있는 나라들을 가지고 다 싸잡아서 북한과 똑같다라고 얘기하는 거랑 일반 다를 게 없다라고 방금 리기 얘기를 했거든요. 모든 종교가 똑같지는 않은데 이렇게 얘기할 수 있는가. 그래서 약간 뭔가 속이고자 하는 그런 메시지가 담겨져 있다라고 방금 결론을 내렸습니다.
I think maybe it's maybe like a lazy way to look at world history to say, why is this world so messed up? Why do people treat each other? There's got to be some reason. And for him, it's religion. Look, if we took away religion, we could all be so much better. But I think the obvious counterpoint to that would be to look at the division within religious groups and how much hatred there is between groups who call themselves Christian or groups who call themselves Muslims, the hatred and the mistrust. A lot of times that's based on racial divisions, or maybe divisions of sexual orientation, whatever it is. There is a great, I guess an unfortunate need almost for humans to mistrust each other and to hate and fear what is unknown. And so just say that that's just religion is ridiculous because, for the examples of people who claim to be the same faith hating each other and other groups. And a counterpoint would be that also that atheism could lead to the idea that everything is meaningless faster than I think someone who had a faith that even though things seem really tough and impossible sometimes, that everything is not meaningless, there is a purpose. And I think that can drive you to suffer very difficult conditions, try to make things right.
Just for translation's sake, so what you're saying is that throughout history that there has been a lot of conflicts within religious groups that doesn't necessarily have to do with religion? Is that your argument?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with
nature,
human nature.
Human nature. Okay. Human nature. And your second point was that there are people, there's conflict against people that think that life is meaningless and that there is a purpose in life.
I guess that was kind of like a second point, just that atheism would lead to the idea that everything is just meaningless. And
unbelievers might think that way. So faith helps.
죄송해요. 제가 약간 좀 다시 주장을 제가 정확하게 이해를 하기 위해서 제가 좀 다시 질문을 했는데요. 넷의 주장, 크게 요점은 두 가지가 있어요. 전체 세계사를 놓고 볼 때 이렇게 크리스토프 히친스처럼 주장한다는 것은 세계사를 정말 모르고 정말 수박 겉핥기식으로만 이해하고 세계사를 이렇게 논하는 거랑 마찬가지라고 얘기를 했거든요. 지금까지의 역사 가운데 종교랑 무관하게 그냥 인간의 본성이 미워하는 마음, 인간의 본성에서 불어난 미워하는 마음 때문에 갈등을 빚은 사건들이 너무나 많잖아요. 근데 그걸 다 싸잡아가지고 종교 때문이야 라고 얘기하는 거랑 다를 바 없다라고 방금 얘기를 했고요. 두 번째 포인트는 뭐냐면 무신론자들은 가끔은 좀 약간 회의적인 안목을 갖고 있어요. 삶에는 의미가 없다, 삶은 무의미하다라고 하는 그런 말을 얘기를 하면서, 그런데 오히려 종교가 믿음을 갖게 해주면서 좀 더 삶을 의미롭게, 의미가 있게끔 만들어주지 않느냐라고 오히려 거기에 반대를 했거든요. 그래서 그 두 가지 요점이 방금 내세 포인트였습니다.
So the original question, if you think about any moral action that an unbeliever cannot perform that a believer can perform, I think perhaps another way to think about this is like I can definitely think of moral actions that a group can perform that an individual can perform. And not that, how can I say, a group of believers is the only type of group. They're definitely so my point is that like groups can perform things that individuals can, and maybe believers are more active of groups than unbelievers are. Of course, that's not always true, and definitely not really true forever. But maybe sort of one benefit of a group that's based around, well, a particular theology of Christianity is that, in sort of its best iteration, I think that Christianity should be a religion of them, right? Because I think a lot of the problems that happen in them is because groups that get into conflict, groups can do a lot of good, and groups can do a lot more evil than religion. And so what ideally makes a group of Christians a better group is that one of the central tenets is that, it's a religion that preaches that we need to care about everyone. Right? It tries to take care of us versus them. Right? Like if you have a group based on sexual orientation, there's clearly us and a them, and that can lead to conflict. If it's a group based on a region or race or whatever, it's clearly an us versus them. Ideally, Christianity doesn't have that, it just has us. Right? And so in that sense, if we could get that right, then yes, a group of believers can perform more of that individual unbeliever just by taking
존 블레이크의 포인트는요, 도덕적인 행위가 물론 개인적으로 개인의 차원에서 일어날 수도 있긴 있지만 오히려 그룹의 차원에서 뭐 악한 행위 또는 도덕적인 행위가 나올 수 있다라고 하는 얘기를 하면서 좀 새로운 것을 좀 짚어봤는데요. 믿는 사람들이 군중심이라는 게 있죠. 그러니까 믿는 사람들이 그룹으로 모여있을 때 그룹이 행동하기가 되게 더 쉬워져요. 그게 악한 행동이 됐든 아니면 좋은 행동이 됐든 도덕적으로 옳은 행동이 됐든. 그래서 그룹이 오히려 이런 갈등을 일으키는 게 아닐까, 개인적인 차원에서가 아니라 이게 사회적인 차원, 단체적인 차원에서 오히려 그런 갈등이 일어나지 않는가라고 얘기를 했고요. 그 기독교에서 가장 그러니까 자행되고 있는 것 중에 좀 잘못되고 있는 게 우리랑 남이라고 하는 이런 갈등, 이런 심리가 만들어짐으로써 갈등이 빚어진다고 하는 얘기를 했거든요. 지금까지 세계사, 아까 방금 메시 세계사 얘기를 했는데 오히려 그런 역사의 일들을 놓고 보면은 우리와 그들이라고 하는 불법적인 사고가 만들어져서 이런 일이 그러니까 이런 부도덕한 행위들이 일어나고 있다는 걸 언급을 했어요. 그리고 마지막으로 언급한 게 기독교 안에서는 이상적으로는 우리와 그들이라고 분할을 시키는 것은 없지만 이게 그 기독교라는 것이 그렇게 변질이 되다 보면은 결국에는 그런 일이 일어날 수 있다라고 하는 거를 봐.
If you have another comment about this question, we'll wait for the last question. As he continues writing in chapter 2 of God is Not Great, Hitchens gives 6 examples of immoral actions deriving explicitly from faith, in his view, in 6 different geographical locations: Belfast, Beirut, Bombay, Belgrade, Bethlehem, and Baghdad. As you can see, Hitchens, as a great communicator, had a penchant for alliteration. All his examples start with the letter B. And if you listen to his debates, he draws you in. His style is a very good communicator, not a very good logician. His logic is flawed in many places, but a very good communicator. And he goes on to write that he could have given examples of geographical locations from A to Z. So briefly, in Belfast, the violence has been between Protestants and Catholics, at least on the surface. There's the old Irish joke about the Irishman who was stopped at a roadblock and asked about his religion. When the man replies that he is an atheist, the policeman asked, Protestant or Catholic atheist? So in Belfast, we see the Protestants and Catholics, because of their religion to some extent, getting into war. In Beirut, according to the constitution, the president must be a particular kind of Christian, Maronite Catholic, and the Speaker of Parliament must be a Muslim. This has served to institutionalize religious differences rather than provide for the desired pluralism. As we all know, the city once called the Paris of the Orient has become a veritable war zone. Bombay, since the 1990s, has been ruled by an extreme Hindu nationalist party, and we don't often think of Hindus and Buddhists as fundamentalists or extreme, but every religion has its fundamentalist group. So in Bombay, the Hindu Nationalist Party, which has tried everything in its power to silence religious opposition from other faiths. Belgrade experienced Christian-Muslim fighting for 2 decades. Bethlehem is in a constant state of alert because of claims of ownership coming from both Jews and Muslims. Finally, Baghdad should be fresh in all of our memories. Muslim infighting there, and this is mostly between Muslims, destroyed Iraq before George Bush Sr. and Jr. ever got around to it. So Hitchens's main point is that faith fundamentally produces insiders and outsiders, us versus them. If we are right, how can another group who disagrees with us on any point be right too? This is the danger of religion, and it turns good people bad, according to Hitchens. So what have I learned from this blunt critique of religion? I've learned 2 things. First, I think Christopher Hitchens has a point, even though it's overstated, he has a point. There are things which religion produces in people that are not present in an atheist, or at least in an agnostic. And you know the differences between agnostic and atheist? Okay, well, it's actually here in the script. For those who do not know the difference between an atheist and an agnostic, an atheist believes there is no God, almost anti-theist, that there is no God. An agnostic does not claim to know whether there's a God or not. For an agnostic, there's no possible way to know. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. So the us versus them mentality that religion often produces is its ugliest offspring. And the real world results of this divide between people is often bloody and deadly. So that's, I think Christopher Hitchens is at least partly right. Religions can, and often do, cause us versus them mentality, mostly based on our holy books. Second point. For Christian believers, I think Hitchens' critique should at least give us pause in examining how we believe what we believe. And that's what the past 5 weeks have been about. How do we believe what we believe and why? We need to think about this. Is our theology one that produces hatred or division between us and others? Does our theology give us any kind of license to be immoral towards those with whom we disagree? If it does, I think Hitchens teaches us that it needs to be transformed at the very least. Now, having said that, I think Hitchens' critique overreaches just a bit. The subtitle to his book is How Religion Poisons Everything. And I think he did that to sell more books, but I'm not sure he really believes it. But it overreaches, in my opinion. He would say that all religion poisons everything, whether it's liberal, moderate, conservative, or fundamentalist. This, to me, seems to generalize and simplify the issue way too much. I agree with him that some religion is deadly and harmful, either spiritual or in physical reality. But I disagree that all religion is like this. For example, can you imagine a Quaker? Everybody knows what the Quakers are, right? No? Quaker is it's a peace church. They don't believe in war or violence of any kind. They usually just sit around in a circle for an hour on Sundays silently and share what the Spirit has told them afterwards.
제가 퀘이커에 대해서 제가 자세하게 주석을 안 달았는데요. 퀘이커는 그 하나님을 믿고 있는 사람들 중에 그러니까 한 종파라고 할게요. 종파 중에 하나인데 이 사람들은 전쟁, 폭력에 대해서 완전히 반대하고 있는 그런 안목을 갖고 있거든요. 그래서 모여서 굉장히 평화주의적인 입장을 갖고 있고 예배가 굉장히 좀 조용해요. 앉아가지고 동그랗게 앉아가지고 1시간 동안 아무 말도 안 해요. 그리고 그 순간 막 자기 영감이 있는 얘기가 있으면 일어서서 이렇게 얘기를 하는 그런 종교 집단입니다.
So in determining how he overreaches, can you imagine a Quaker or a Unitarian or a liberal Christian or anyone here tonight becoming a suicide bomber? It's hard for me to imagine. Because some religious understandings actually prevent violence. And this is what I think John was trying to say. Now, it's true that one does not need a religious philosophy to either be moral or nonviolent. An atheist can be moral and nonviolent. But it's equally true that some religious philosophies are inherently anti-violent. The way that I understand Christianity is inherently anti-violent. So in short, I think Hitchens goes too far. I can meet him halfway, but his critique neither reduces all religious people to violent people, nor does it, even if it's completely true, prove the existence or non-existence of God. It's just an argument about morality, not about the truth of whether God exists or not. So we can learn something from Hitchens about how to believe and how to behave, but I do not think we can learn from him the moral supremacy of atheism. So the final question, what do you find helpful in Hitchens' critique of religion, and what do you find unhelpful?
I thought this when you first.
Oh, I was going to say, was this critique on the last, the other screen? Can you go over to the other screen real quick? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
The thing that I was going to say, and I didn't, and I kind of wish I would have now, is that the first part of this is really quite, gives us a counterpoint to a lot of people who tell us that intermixing with people will dirty us or soil us. You know, when I was in church, I was often told not to go to certain places. I actually had a kind of a mini music ministry. I would go into different places, and that included bars, and I would like sing, you know, secular songs, and then I would also sometimes throw in a little bit of a more churchy one when everybody was a little more tipsy and didn't notice. You know, but it was, I was doing it with a kind of a open heart, and a lot of people led me to believe that, you know, I'm supposed to be the salt of the earth, and I'm supposed to be separate from this, and that being exposed to those people are going to create an immorality in me that, and I think that this points out to us that we're not, I think that what I get from this is he's saying, listen, we're not that different. And that there can be a lot of good things from working together for causes that are good, and you don't necessarily have to, that you said, creating this us versus them is kind of toxic in itself, and that we should embrace that. We should recognize that there aren't differences between the majority of people, that we are fundamentally pretty good, even if we don't have God.
And fundamentally pretty simple.
Yeah, yes.
애니의 코멘트를 제가 정리를 하면요. 히친스가 얘기했던 앞부분만 놓고 보면은 무신론자들이 얘기하는 우리, 그러니까 여기서 우리라고 하는 사람들은 무신론자들이겠죠. 우리는 믿는 사람들과 다르지 않다라고 하는 그거를 언급을, 그러니까 그런 느낌을 받으면서 그런 생각을 갖게 하면서 그러니까 되게 예전에 느꼈던 것 중에 하나를 언급을 했는데요. 이게 특히 크리스찬들끼리는 이게 되게 심해요. 다른 사람들끼리 뭉치면 탁해진다, 불건전해진다라고 하는 사고방식이 있어서 아까 예로 들었던 게 뭐였냐면은 특히 교회 안에서는 믿는 사람들은 세상의 빛과 소금이 돼야 된다라고 얘기를 하니까 구별되는 삶을 살아야 된다, 구별돼야 된다, 달라야 된다 그러면서 뭐 술 마시는 사람들과 같이 낄 수도 없고 같이 어울리면 안 되고 하는 그런 사고방식을 갖게 되다 보니까 결국에는 우리와 남이라고 하는 이분법적인 그런 사고가 생기고 그런 어떻게 보면 하나의 집합이 만들어짐으로써 그런 어떻게 보면 아까 탁색하다고 얘기를 했는데 되게 독과 같이 되게 몸에 좋지 않다라고 하는 거를 아까 언급을 하면서 코멘트를 했습니다.
I think, how can I say, like, he's making an argument that religion needs to be violent and good, or like, I don't think that's true. I think, like there are bad people who want to fight, like, and I think, yeah, religion sometimes provides stability before, but sometimes sort of like having a similarity or whatever, sometimes so it's just being really rich, whatever. You know, he's arguing that these bad things that happen come from an over-adherence to faith, but like, some people have issues or whatever, and they become extremists in whatever it is, religious extremists, it could be nationalistic extremists, it could have nothing to do with God and nothing to do with religion at all. And I think, that's a problem for everyone. It's a problem for religious people. You gotta make sure that you're crazy, so don't get too crazy. People, you don't put them in positions of leadership because there's a lot of power, right? And that's true for non-theists realm as well.
If you want to see a very dysfunctional atheist gathering, Google YouTube Skeptic. It's the atheist conference. And they're like, talk about extreme fundamentalists.
Like anarchists that want to disrupt the government, or like proclaim, or like Black Panthers, who I don't think are particularly, like anybody can take these things.
And in the world, people were going to take these teachings. Some of them will go to religion, some of them will find out
저는 코멘트에서 되게 흥미로운 게 있었는데요. 제가 좀 통역을 하겠습니다. 아까 히친스가 얘기하기로는 종교가 폭력적인 행동을 하게끔 만든다라고 하는 주장이 결국에 이 바탕에 깔려 있거든요. 근데 저는 얘기하기를 이게 종교랑 상관이 없이 사람마다 다르다라고 하는 걸 얻고 그랬어요. 그러니까 종교랑 무관하게 인간이 극단적으로 치달을 수 있다라고 얘기를 했고요. 그러다 보니까 특정 사람은 그 어떤 종교 집단 안에서 리더 역할을 할 수도 있는 것 반면에 아예 얘는 하면 안 되는, 말 그대로 하면은 얘가 독재자가 되고 미친놈이 되고 이렇게 될 수 있기 때문에 아예 하면 안 되는 그런 성향도 있어요. 그러니까 사람 성격마다 다르기 때문에 이거를 종교에다 갖다 끌어모을 게 아니라 개인적인 어떤 개인적인 성향, 특징하고 결부를 지어야 된다. 그래서 예로 들었던 게 무정부주의자 같은 경우에는 종교가 딱히 없지만 말 그대로 정부에 대해서 비판을 하면서 막 테러 일으키고 막 이런 사람들 많거든요. 일부러 특정 인종을 가지고 죽이려고 했던 사람들도 있고 종교랑 아무런 상관없이. 그래서 그런 사람들 하나 예로 들음으로써 꼭 종교가 나쁜 행동을 만들어내지는 않는다라고 하는 결론을 얘기를 했어요.
I really like swinging not sure where I'm going, but I'm talking more like a bigger picture and political, social, economic perspective of our arguments. So I think this argument has been developed because in a political and a faction conflict in the US, that there is this underposition of people who are more like Bible themselves, but then we need the counterweight, which is more like happens to depend on the Christians or each other things. But I would say the reason that this Bible people are showing to us is that they are morally superior. That was their main argument. That we are better people who are morally superior over you. But then, kind of, I want to connect that with my sexual orientation because they say that they are morally superior because they are Christian. Then I would say, do I become more moral if I become Christian? Yes or no? And then, if they say being a homosexual makes me less moral, then I'm already tainted. Then does this mean that it's not, can I like counterbalance my being immoral by becoming Christian? So this has been my kind of concern in my training. Is like, does the moral issue of being connected with sexuality and like religion, that it was kind of blended in one not for me, so it was very like very chaotic to find around. And the other thing is, I would say, the poor people who are making arguments like that, why do you think they are all heterosexual? They are, right? All four of them.
As far as I know.
Yeah, as far as I know. So that kind of came to me a little bit odd. Because why? Because in real life, actually, when I see people who I visit, like when I date someone in the US and when I go to someone's house, and then when I find the crucifixions books, it's usually the people who grow up very religiously, and then they were gay, that they were ostracized by their family groups or whatever, and then they came to a different direction, and then they needed something to hold on to, so they found like organizations, and then that's their Bible. So I would say it's almost, for me, it's another form of, I would say, because usually I never met people who having those books if they had no religious whatever trauma while they
It's
were
another form of extremism. For many people, not for all. There are some balanced people who are Christians. But in the gay community, I see it often as another form of extremism or security from those who come from fundamentalist Christian groups, taking something equally fundamentalist to be certain about.
Maybe there are two ways to survive after you grow as having a religious trauma, like mainly the Christian trauma and then the gays to be totally non-religious, number one. Or, I don't know where the option with whatever the logic that you go with having a conflict. And I think the Christian's arguments really helps them to do the inner healings or whatever. That has been my experience meeting people who.
I think it's a good stop on it. But I hope people don't stop there.
But actually, so at the end of the day, the worst kind of people that I don't want to get together is the people who, the Christians who think they are so much better because they are morally superior. It's kind of the worst job. So one thing that Christians can take away out of Christians' arguments is that we shouldn't be doing that. Not not doing things in a condescending way or not saying that they're anything better than others.
Actually, I want to translate 아까 나쿤 형이 얘기했던 코멘트를 좀 정리를 하자면요. 미국에서 특히나 이 논점이 굉장히 크게 일어났어요. 왜냐면은 되게 좀 정치적인 색깔을 띠게 되었거든요. 이제 그 믿는 사람들이 도덕적으로 우월하다라고 하는 거에 대해서 되게 논쟁이 많았어요. 이거에 찬성하는 사람, 반대하는 사람부터 시작해가지고. 근데 이제 아무래도 이제 여기 계신 모든 분들 중에 대부분이 이제 성 정체성과 관련해서 이제 개인적으로 고민하시는 분들도 계셨을 것 같아요. 그래서 그에 대해서 아까 언급을 했는데 특히나 동성애자가 되면 또 LGBT 공동체의 일원이 되면은 부도덕하다라고 하는 거에 대해서 아마 여기 계신 모든 분 다 한 번씩은 아마 고민해 보셨던 거 있을 거예요. 왜냐면 사회적으로 이걸 이슈화 시키고 있고 더군다나 종교계에서 더더욱더 크게 막 큰 소리 치면서 하면 안 된다, 도덕적으로 문란해진다라고 하는 얘기를 막 언급했기 때문에 그런 부분들이 없잖아 있는데 더 위험한 것은 본인 스스로가 동성애자인 걸 알고 커밍아웃을 했는데 막상 사회적으로 질타를 받고 억압을 받으니까 오히려 더 반대 극단으로 치닫는 거예요. 그래서 크리스토프 히친스의 이런 사람들의 책을 읽고 우와 이런 길도 있네라고 생각을 하고 오히려 자기 스스로가 나는 무신론자로서 더 도덕적으로 우월해 라고 생각하면서 사는 사람들도 있다라고 하는 걸 직접 이렇게 경험하셨대요. 그래서 그걸 언급하면서 오히려 그 사람들이 더 위험하지 않나라고 하는 얘기를 하셨거든요. 여기서 배워야 될 게 한 가지가 있다면 결론을 말씀드릴게요. 기독교임에도 불구하고 스스로가 도덕적으로 우월하다고 하는 것은 잘못된 생각이 아닐까. 그게 바로 하나의 그 결론으로 코멘트를 했습니다.
Yeah. As far as good, that's the kind of the good and the bad from this argument. The good point, he points out that religion can be used for violence in these extremists. Honestly, as far as this point there, I think it's very redundant because the religious people will tell you that religion can be used for violence. So he's saying nothing new. The downside is, again, he is actually doing exactly the thing he's lobbying against. And I really think he's blind to the fact that he is us versus them. And he is actually fighting for that extreme harder than most religious groups do. He's actually, much more guilty of the same fundamentalism. And again, you mentioned earlier his logic is bad. This is the thing with Hitchens. Hitchens is a very good communicator. He's just a lousy thinker, in my opinion.
His major was literary theory, not religion, not philosophy.
Right. He's very good at communicating, but most of his communication is full of rhetoric and fluff with no substance under it. And he's very popular, but so are talk shows. You know. I mean, in my opinion, he's kind of the atheist equivalent of Saturday Night Live or Jay Leno, or I mean, it's popular. And there's a lot of content, but without the serious thought underneath it. He uses the example, for instance, Catholics versus Protestants in Ireland. There's, according to him, all Catholics and all Protestants fight and kill each other, according to their religion. No, it's a cultural thing in that he totally ignores the vast majority of the socio-political situations, and everything becomes religion because of his own personal bias.
And being British,
이게 주장을 언급을 하면요. 방금 히친스 교수가 히친스 교수는 아니죠. 크리스토퍼 히친스가 얘기했던 것에서 옳다고 인정하는 부분은 종교가 폭력을 가져올 수 있다라고 하는 부분. 특히 극단적인 좀 근본적이고 극단적인 종교를 갖고 있는 사람들의 경우에는 우리가 흔히 뉴스에서 볼 수 있듯이 폭력을 가져오고 정말 사람들에게 위협적인 존재이긴 하죠. 하지만 오히려 히친스 교수의 맹점 중에 하나가 뭐냐면 자기 스스로가 무신론자로서 우리와 남이라고 하는 개념을 반대로 본인 스스로 갖고 있다는 겁니다. 그러니까 본인 스스로가 종교인들은 우리와 남 개념을 갖고 있어. 이건 나쁜 거라고 얘기를 하면서 자기 스스로도 무신론자와 유신론자와의 이 반대되는 그 개념을 언급하고 있다고 얘기를 하면서 크리스토퍼 히친스는 토크쇼 진행자와 같은 그런 스킬은 갖고 있지만 말은 정말 잘하지만 갖고 있는 생각은 정말 좀 약간 썩어 빠졌다라고 하는 그런 얘기를 했고요. 간과하고 있는 부분이 종교에서 정말 빼놓을 수 없는 부분이 사회 문화적인 부분이거든요. 사회 문화적인 부분을 다 배제하고 결론만 그렇게 내리면 비약이다라고 하고 있습니다.
I think it's kind of ironic that, I guess I have a question. That, it seems like Hitchens' main argument has to do with religion, which leads to violence and conflict. And I think it's kind of ironic that in this congregation, most of us probably weren't shot at by Muslims. Our more immediate conflict with religion has to do with identity and sexuality. I was wondering if he's ever written anything on that particular point that religion is bad, not just because it leads to violence and war, but also because it leads to sort of us versus them in the sense of like mental oppression.
Absolutely. He talks about it. He's never written about it. If you YouTube the video, 4 Horsemen, then there's a 2-hour video of the 4 of them sitting around a round table and just talking. And he does address that. The others address it as well. Absolutely. He thinks it oppresses not only physically, but also he wouldn't use the word spiritually, but it oppresses the sort of aesthetic of the soul, psychology. Yeah, psychology.
네, 방금 존 블레이크의 질문은 뭐냐면요. 크리스토퍼 히친스가 왜 지금 계속 폭력 얘기하면서 말 그대로 특정 종교를 갖고 있는 사람들이 자살 폭탄 테러범이 되고 이런 얘기를 제가 하고 있는데 그것처럼 그러니까 육체적인 폭력을 가하고 있는 게 아니라 정신적인 억압 그런 정신적으로 다수 소수 그러면서 소수의 집단을 가지고 억압을 하고 있는 그런 주장을 펴고 있지 않는가라고 하는 질문을 가지고 다니엘 목사님이 얘기한 거는 혹시 유튜브에 4 Horsemen 이게 말세에 나타날 말을 끌고 있는 사람 4명을 지금 언급하고 요한계시록에 실제 나오거든요. 말에 올라탄 기사 4명이 나오는데 그 4명이 말세를 가져와요. 그래서 그게 요한계시록에 언급해 있는데 이 크리스토퍼 히친스를 비롯해서 4명이 있어요. 이 4명이 무신론을 언급을 하거든요. 그래서 그 믿고 있는 사람들 가운데서 이 4명이 바로 이 마부다. 이 마부 4명이다라고 언급을 하고 있는데 어쨌든 유튜브에 4 Horsemen을 치시면은 4명이 원탁에 앉아가지고 토론을 하는 게 있을 거예요. 거기 보시면은 이게 단순히 어떤 자살폭탄 테러 이런 뿐만이 아니라 정신적으로 또는 이렇게 영적으로까지 억압을 하고 있는 거에 대해서 종교가 그런 짓까지 자행하고 있다라고 하는 논의를 얘기하고 있거든요. 그래서 그거를 혹시 관심 있으신 분 있으면 한번 확인해 보세요.
Well, there is a problem with this argument that I don't want to caricature Hitchens. It's a bigger book than just this argument. And although this has a logical fallacy in the question itself, I think he often tried to be extreme in order to show the problems that he thought were existing in religion. He wasn't as extreme. He never said this, but my guess is he wasn't as fundamentalistically atheist as he often talked and wrote. But it was sort of like a rhetorical device, how religion poisons everything. In that talk, the 4 Horsemen talk, he talks about Quakers, Unitarians. Now, he can go to a Unitarian service, which might say something bad about Unitarian services, but he can go to a Unitarian service and feel comfortable and get something out of it. So he acknowledges that there are varieties of religion, but he thinks they're all bad in one degree or another. The liberal religions he thinks are bad because they sort of still uphold the framework of faith. That faith is a good thing. And Hitchens doesn't think faith is good because he's coming from a very not Renaissance, the 16th, 17th century scientific method movement of modernism. Right? If you can't prove it, it's not true. That's where he's a modernist in that sense. So anything that can't be proven or disproven is useless. That's just where he's at. But he would recognize that there are better religions and worse religions.
I would like to actually ask a question. I'll translate this back into Korean. This actually turns into a very interesting point because so far I was a little bit sort of guilty myself about the us versus them mentality. But then if this is about religion being good or bad in a sense of a little bit bad or totally bad, then isn't everything in the world, there has a speck of bad in everything? I mean, then I don't... No. I mean, Hitchens doesn't like... okay, according to what you just said, Hitchens is an atheist because he believes that there is something good in religion, but he says there is everything bad in religion. That's the reason why he is an atheist, right?
He doesn't think there's anything inherently good in religion.
Inherently good in religion.
He thinks there are levels of badness. Thought.
Well, I mean, what I want to argue, what I want to argue is the point that in life, whether it's religious or not, there is something that we can learn from something, right? And
he loved the Bible.
What?
He loved the Bible as a piece of literature. So, but only the King James version. He felt the modern.
I have a problem with Hitchens' arguments. We have to talk about, let's say, utilitarian value of religion.
It's very utilitarian.
So what I'm saying is, if you gauge like some sense of gray or what's there or not, they usually look at like longevity or happiness, I don't know how you measure that, or health feelings, or whatever. Do you think the religious group has a better index over the non-religious group, or does Hitchens never talk about that? Because usually within the fundamental Christian people, sometimes there are people who are in hardships, but then they sleep well or whatever, so there comes another utilitarian value which the atheists do not have, I would say. So I was wondering which is has anything to say about utilitarian practical, whatever, utensil value of religion.
He's sort of oxymoronic in his utilitarianism. He's an atheist, so he believes that we can come to ethics and morality from a utilitarian point of view. But his critique of religion is even if it helps people live more peaceful lives or longer lives, that is no proof that it's absolutely true. And he's a modernist in that sense. At least he says it is. Absolute truth, for him, can be proven scientifically or disproven scientifically. Everything outside of that arena is useless, whether it's useful or not.
Maybe so we should just gauge what the Christians really want to do.
If that's why you want to be a Christian.
Yes, there's a whole lot going by.
오케이. 아까 저희가 지금 크리스토퍼 히친스가 오늘 두 번째 테마다 보니까 이 사람이 갖고 있는 사상, 생각을 좀 주의 깊게 좀 바라보고 있어요. 좀 약간 따분하게 생각하시는 분도 계시긴 한데 제가 좀 정리를 해볼게요. 아까 방금 나왔던 대화가 뭐였냐면은 다니엘 목사님이 아까 코멘트를 하기를 이 방금 설교한 내용이 크리스토퍼 히친스의 주장 전부가 아니다라고 얘기를 하면서 크리스토퍼 히친스 스스로도 다른 토론회나 다른 동영상을 보시면 아실 수 있겠지만 종교에 배울 점은 있다라는 것을 지적을 해요. 특정 종교에 배울 점은 있고 가서 내가 뭐 얻을 건 있다라는 건 아닌데 종교 자체에 좋은 것은 없다라고 얘기를 하면서 그래서 무신론자가 된 거예요, 이 사람이. 그러다 보니까 이제 좀 나쁜 구석을 언급하면서 이 주장이 나온 거예요. 그래서 종교라는 것은 폭력을 가져오기 때문에 나쁘다. 본인 스스로는 무신론자다. 무신론자, 그러니까 결론은 그거죠. 결국엔 결론은 무신론이 유신론보다 좀 더 좋다라고 하는 말을 좀 약간 주장을 섞고 있고 그거에 대해서 지금 계속 얘기를 하고 있었어요. 근데 아까 방금 나쿤 형이 지적했던 거는 뭐였냐면은 이 무신론자들이 갖고 있는 공통적인 생각이 좀 있는데 공리주의적인 생각을 갖고 있어요. 약간 자로 재울 수 있고 책장할 수 있고 그랬을 때 더 만인에게 다수에게 더 좋은 것이면은 좋은 거다라고 얘기하는 공리주의적인 생각을 갖고 있긴 하거든요. 공리주의적인 입장에서 종교를 어떻게 측정을 하는지에 대해서 질문을 했어요. 그래서 단인이 지금 책을 읽고 정리한 건 뭐였냐면은 히친스는 스스로 윤리와 도덕적인 부분에 있어서는 공리주의적인 입장을 취해요. 그래서 만인에게 좋은 거면은 이 윤리는 되게 좋은 거고 도덕도 좋은 거고 라고 얘기를 한다지만 종교에 있어서는 꼭 그렇게까지 막 세밀하게 철두철미하게 막 뭘 자로 재거나 측정하는 모습은 좀 없다라고 얘기를 하면서 약간 모순을 띠고 있다라고 얘기를 했거든요. 그러니까 히친스 스스로는 어떤 팩트가 이게 참이냐 거짓이냐라는 걸 알기 위해서는 실제로 검증을 해봐야 된다고. 그러면 이게 진짜 사실이면 이게 참이 된다 이건데 종교에 대해서는 그렇게까지 우리가 검증할 수 있는 절차조차도 없고 히친스 스스로도 그걸 언급을 해요. 없다라고 얘기를 하면서 그러다 보니까 약간 모순이 좀 존재한다는 것을 이제 하나 더 어쨌든 그게 방금 얘기 나왔던 거예요. 그거예요. 네, 그 요약.
I want to make it very clear. I think his biggest problem is treating religion via the scientific method. I don't think he really understands what religion is, what it's about, or even how to experience God. So I think he misunderstands a lot about faith and the Bible, and Christianity, and all religion, because he's seeing it from the point of view of the scientific. You can't do that.
그래서 그 한 가지 히친스가 지금 잘못하고 있는 게 종교를 갖다가 과학적으로 분석하고 과학적으로 검증을 하려고 하는 게 잘못된 태도다라고 연구를 했거든요. 실제로 종교를 그렇게 바라볼 수도 없을 뿐 아니라 이제 그렇게 의도적으로 하려고 하니까 이제 말 그대로 아까와 같은 좀 논리적으로 비약인 그런 발언을 하게 되는 거죠.
아니, 우선 보면 그 히친스 같은 경우는 아까 좀 전에 단양 목사님이 하신 것이 결론인 것 같아요. 히친스까지 잘 모르는 과학적인 재단을 해가지고 이제 종교를 본다는 말인 것이냐면 그래서 그게 이제 결론인 것 같고 그다음에 제가 좀 한 거는 지금 우리가 이제 보면 원래 신앙이라고 하는 것하고 윤리도덕하고는 완전히 틀린 거거든요. 그거 가지고 비교를 할 수가 없는 겁니다. 지금 우리가 이제 여기 계신 분이 그런 비신자도 있고 신자도 있고 그러신데 그 신자라고 하는 입장에서는 대부분 신자들이 물론 어렸을 때부터 뭐 저렇게 기독교에 귀해가지고 자라왔던 분도 있지만은 또 기존에 안 믿는 무신론자에다가 믿는 분도 있고 그럴 겁니다. 그리고 이제 또 물론 또 자라오는 과정에서 이 저기 학교 체제라든지 뭐 이런 걸 통해 가지고 먼저 배우고 나서 이제 기독교에 오시는 분이기 때문에 실제 학교나 체제에서 배울 때는 이 종교라고 하는 걸 전혀 신앙이라고 하는 걸 전혀 안 배우고 오지 않습니까? 근데 지금 이제 지금 이 상태에서 우리가 보면 이게 전부 다 개인적인 것 같더라고 보니까 이게 저기 뭐가 낫다 뭐가 좋다 뭐 나쁘다 이런 것보다는 개인적으로 자기가 이게 믿기 전하고 믿은 후하고 비교를 해보면은 그럼 이제 어느 쪽이 더 낫다라고 하는 것이 본인들은 알 수 있을 겁니다. 본인들은. 그래서 그럴 때는 저기 제가 이렇게 과원 기대에서는 저는 보면 진짜 굉장한 무신론자였어가지고 기독교 믿으라고 이제 저기 전도 온 사람이 있으면 전 진짜로 이제 하나님은 내 앞에 보이면 내가 믿겠다 할 정도로 굉장히 굉장한 무신론자였었는데 이렇게 믿고 나서 보니까 내가 굉장히 잘못했었구나 이게 믿고 나니까 굉장히 나한테 좋았었구나 이제 좋았구나 이런 걸 느끼게 되거든요. 이게 전부 다 개인적인 것 같고 그래서 보면 지금 우리가 이제 여기서 무신론자, 유신론자가 있지만 따지지만 실제 본인이 가지고 있는 개인의 경험이 따지면 제일 중요한 것 같습니다. 그래서 개인의 편차에 따라 가지고 틀리지 어떤 것에서 결론을 이끌어가거나 그럴 필요 없을 것 같습니다. 아무튼 저는 보면 결론이 본인들은 다 알 수 있을 거라 이게 본인들 지금 현재에서 무신론자든 유신론자든 있을 거지만은 제가 볼 때는 여기까지 결론 내는 것도 아니고 그죠? 제가 의견이 이제 무시로 됐다가 좀 무시로 되는 거니까 무시로 됐다가 좋았다 이제 그런 거.
Mr. So's comment was that, first of all, he mentioned that religion, faith, cannot be compared with moral and ethics. They're two separate things. They're different things. And he also mentioned that among believers, whatever religion there is, that there has been people who have been living in the religious rituals, who understand religion basically because they're brought up in that environment. But there are also those who have denied the supernatural, but then they realize that there is a supernatural being through education or personal experiences or through the education system, whatever it may be. However, his bottom line is that it is through the individual point. It's individually, people will know, literally, especially for those who had this transition in their lives, that they will know whether their life was better when they believed or when they not believed, when they didn't believe. They would realize what would be the better of that. And Mr. So himself was an atheist before, and he always told people that give God in front of me, then I'll believe. But now that he has believed, he knows what is better. So his bottom line is that individuals will know through experience what is better, what type of life is better.
All right, good conversation. Next week we'll be addressing the problem of evil and suffering. That's mostly the problem of suffering. One of the biggest problems for Christian theologians for the last 2,000 years. And we're going to do it in an hour.
Wow. Wow. That will prove there is a God.
다음 주에 저희가 이 같은 시리즈로 저희가 주제 세 번째로 다룰 거는 고통에 대해서 다룰 건데요. 특히 신학자들이 가장 많이 고민했던 부분 중에 하나죠. 하나님은 있는데 왜 고통을 주는지, 그러니까 하나님을 믿는다고 왜 고통을 받아야 되는지 아마 여러분 모두 다 똑같이 고민해 보셨던 부분일 겁니다. 정말 2000년 동안 계속해서 토론이 되어왔던 주제인데요. 1시간 안에 저희가 대화를 할 거거든요. 그래서 좀 어렵겠지만 아무튼 관심 있으신 분이 있으시면은 본인 스스로도 이런 건 같이 나누고 싶다는 분이 있으면은 좀 정리를 해서 말씀하시면 제가 옆에서 통역을 할게요. 그래서 오늘 다음 주에 그렇게 좀 귀중한 시간을 그렇게 보내도록 할게요. 예.
I think the next thing is a song.
Yes.
Source.
Sorry, the computer just
Slept.
Yeah, it slept. It's slowly waking.
Anybody else? If you haven't read the book of Ecclesiastes in the Bible, it's basically a song form. Read it. It's very depressing. The laws of love and light and life extend wherever we are, wherever we go. Let us go out into the world ready to recognize this love in all whom we meet, in all that we see, and all that we touch. Let us go out ready to meet this love with those who need our help, ready to listen to love in the activities of humankind, as well in the sights and sounds of nature, and ready to quieten the clamor of our minds and hearts, the better to receive love. And may we find peace within us always. In the name of love. Amen. All right, let's hang out together for about 15 minutes, and then those who are hungry will go to eat.
What is better, daytime or evening? When about